Jason Couch had an excellent career, picking up 16 PBA titles, including 4 majors. Couch joined the PBA in 1991, and in his first full season in 92, he won the PBA Rookie of the Year, and his first title came in the following year at the Turns Classic, where he defeated legend Brian Voss. In the same year, he won his first major title at the 93 Touring Players Championship. Couch also managed to win back-to-back titles in events, which is a pretty rare occurrence for any PBA bowler. The 14th and 15th titles for him came in back-to-back events in 2007, and then he had a 4-year drought where he won his 16th and final PBA Tour title at the 2011 Mark Roth Plastic Ball Championship. However, I think Couch is most famous for his Tournament of Champions three-peat, where he won this major event 3 times in a row, the only player ever to do so. Couch earned over $1.7 million over his PBA career, and in the end he had season-ending knee surgery in 2007, and although he did eventually bounce back from this, winning another title in 2011, clearly this knee injury had a pretty big impact on Jason's career from that point on. And finally, in 2012, he actually announced his retirement from full-time competitive bowling on the PBA Tour. However, we've still seen quite a bit of Jason on TV, as he's been a manager for a number of years now as a part of the PBA League. But overall, Jason was an incredible bowler, and I think definitely one of the best left-handers of all time, and I think the three-peat at the Tournament of Champions just really pushed him up so that he earned a spot on this list. Number 4, Johnny Petraglia. Johnny joined the PBA in 1965, and he won his first title in 96 when he was just 19 years of age. And actually a week after this, he left the PBA to go and join the US Army during the Vietnam War. But this absence from the PBA Tour, well, it didn't really have too much of an impact on his bowling ability, as he quickly bounced back, and his best season as a pro actually came in 1971 when he won a total of 5 titles in that season. And it also included consecutive wins in the last 3 tournaments of the season, and actually Petraglia remains the only PBA bowler to ever win 3 consecutive televised tournaments. He would also go on to win 2 more majors, the 1977 US Open and the 1980 National Championship, which earned him the PBA Career Triple Crown. And to top it all off, he even managed to roll the PBA's 7th televised 300 game against Walter Ray Williams Jr. This was in the semi-final match of the 94 National Championship. However, even though he managed to score a 300 on live TV, it did not win him the title, as he went on to the title match and unfortunately lost. But at 47 years of age, it did make him the oldest player to score a 300 in a televised PBA Tour event. But looking back, it's clear that he had a fantastic career, and he's always in the conversation for the best lefties of all time. Number 3, Parker Bone III. Now initially I wanted to put Parker a little bit higher on this list, but when you get to the top 3, it starts to get very difficult. We all know what Parker can do, and we all know what a fantastic career he's had, but to me what really earns his place on this list is just how dominant he was in his prime. Between 1997 and 2002, he won 18 PBA titles. This is an incredible period of dominance that's on the levels of Walter Ray, Earl Anthony, Pete Weber, etc. And his best season during this period came in 99 when he won 5 titles and earned PBA Player of the Year. And he also earned this award yet again in the 2001-2002 season. Parker's also managed to display extreme longevity. He managed to win his second major tournament at the age of 49 by winning the PBA World Championship in 2013, and won another major at the Players Championship in 2015 at 52 years of age. He's also 5th on the list of all-time PBA titles with 35. He eventually overtook Mark Roth when the 52-year-old Bone won his 35th PBA Tour title at the Cheetah Championship in December 2015. In the last few years, he's competed on the PBA 50 Tour. And number 2, Mike Albee. Mike Albee joined the PBA Tour in 1978 and captured his first title and Rookie of the Year honours in 79. He also managed to win his first major in the same year and became the youngest player to ever win a PBA major. Now that record stood until 2016 when Anthony Simonson won the USBC Masters. In 1985, he became the youngest player in PBA history to reach 10 career PBA titles, and he won a total of 18 titles in the 80s, 9 in the 90s and he also did win one more in 2001, which gave him a total of 29 PBA titles, placing him in 8th of all time. The 2001 win made him the first bowler in history to win at least one PBA title in 4 different decades, but this feat has since been equalled by Webber, Duke and Walter Ray Williams Jr. Albie also had 2 PBA Player of the Year awards given to him in 85 and 95, and he ended his career with 8 major championships. Albie is well known for winning the Triple Crown, but he's also one of the few bowlers to also win the Grand Slam, and he was the first bowler in history to capture the Super Slam, whereby he won all of the 5 majors. This achievement was not matched until Jason Belmonte managed to do so in 2020. And on top of this, Albie and Belmonte are the only 2 PBA players to have won the Masters at least 3 times. And if you need any more proof that Albie deserves to be second on this list, he was also the first left-handed player to bowl a perfect game on TV. It was a very close call between Albie and Parker Bone for second place, but I felt that Albie's major record just gave him an edge and earned him the number 2 spot on this list. And finally, number 1, Earl Anthony. The number 1 spot can only really go to one person, and that's Earl Anthony. He's actually considered by many to be the greatest of all time, regardless of the fact that he was left-handed. Only Walter Ray seems to be able to challenge Earl for the title of greatest of all time after he surpassed Earl's number of PBA titles. Earl's story is pretty remarkable, and it gives us an idea of just how dominant and skilled he was. In 1963, he bowled 3 PBA summer tournaments just in order for him to have an idea of what it would take to be able to compete on the tour. He didn't cash in any of these events, but he decided that he wanted to try and be able to go out onto the tour full time. So it's said that in order to prepare himself, he was practicing between 300 and 350 games a week, which is basically up to 8 hours a day. And after 6 years of this intense practice, Anthony began his professional bowling career in 1970. Now, he was 31 years of age by this point, so he was a pretty old rookie. And he managed to win his first PBA title in June of that year. And then from that point on, once he reached 1972, he just took off and pretty much dominated the 70s, winning absolutely everything. His career did go on into the 80s, where he won 4 major titles, which included 3 national championships and a ABC Masters title. And this 1984 Masters major win was his final PBA victory and gave him a total of 43 PBA titles. I'm sure at the time many thought that this was a record that probably would never be broken, but one man managed to do it, and that was Walter Ray Williams Jr. But I think even Walter himself feels that Earl is the undisputed greatest of all time, and he actually said the following in an interview: "I feel Earl's record is better than mine because it was more condensed. Earl bowled 14 years and 400 or so events. I've bowled well over 600 by now, maybe 700. When Earl Anthony retired, he didn't have anyone to push him. He probably would have kept going to 50 if that were the case. It's hard to say what would have happened then." And it's a very good point, and it's just what makes Earl Anthony's career so remarkable. He came onto the PBA at quite a late age, at 31, and just dominated in a 14-year period. And who knows, if he had carried on into the sort of same age that Walter and other guys like Norm Duke had, then perhaps he could have been sitting on 50 titles, maybe even more. We never know. But at the end of the day, what he did was simply remarkable. And I think in the minds of many, he is certainly the greatest left-hander of all time, and probably even the greatest bowler, period. So that brings us to an end